nonsensical are Biden and Fetterman. So from the Babylon Bee, the greatest source of satire in the world.
So good.
Biden call to congratulate Fetterman lasts 3 hours as neither can form a coherent sentence.
Yep.
So Biden's congratulatory call to John Fetterman for his Senate race win reportedly lasted in excess of 3 hours because neither man was able to form a coherent sentence. Chief of Staff Ron Klain was forced to adjust Biden's schedule as the call dragged on and on. Meetings on the economy, foreign policy, and immigration were canceled entirely. Fortunately, Biden was still able to keep up his standing tea time with Kamala.
Like you would have tea with Kamala.
They just sort of growled at each other for a while. It was very raw and analytic, as you would expect from great leaders. Klain said, advising Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on how best to spin the time-consuming call. An excerpt, wonderful, an excerpt of the official transcript of the call has been made available by the White House. A brief excerpt of the call follows. Look, Jack, you look great, boy. Not a joke.
Me, John? Who, Jack?
You, Jack, man. Come on. No, I'm serious. Think about it.
New phone? Who this?
Hello? At publishing time, of course, the White House aides deactivated President Biden's phone after he once again phoned to ask John Fetterman if the senator-elect would consider running for Senate. Yeah, because you think it's satire, but
it's
not that far off.
No, I mean,
I would pay money to hear the actual trends, to hear the actual phone call if that phone call was made.
Did you hear the acceptance speech that John Fetterman made?
Oh yeah, and he's like,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
That was the most accurate thing he's ever said.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, you like it's like the
you don't. You have no idea what to say.
It's like when somebody says like, it's like I don't get it, and everyone's like, ah. It's like, no, really, I don't get it. What's going on? Like that's the kind of joke that you get. So basically we have officially for 6 years we have a guy who is basically brain damaged because he has damage to his brain, and he's basically nothing more than a automatic yes button on every Democrat policy. If you ever get like those those little birds. They're like a little plastic bird, and it keeps like dipping down, eventually it takes a drink from the water or something like that. That would be basically the same as having Fetterman in Senate. That's about the same. He's not going to come up with any policies. He's just not bright enough, and that's before the stroke. He's not a man.
Well, he was a socialist before the stroke.
He was communist. I would say like beyond socialist.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Mm-hmm. So the Senate's going to be a mess with him in Pennsylvania.
Just a mess.
We'll see. Now, one positive thing I remember somebody said is that there was a lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans up for re-election in this Senate race in this year, but there's going to be an awful lot of Democratic senators up for re-election in 2024. So that is going to be a much bigger deal in 2024. So if we're gonna learn from our mistakes, now's the time. So let's talk